Hey, look at there, we're back. Back on video. Hello everyone, it's Monday, July 22nd. I'm Derek Stuckley here on KOXE. It's the Brownwood Lions Coaches Show, and I'm joined by Brownwood Lions head football coach, athletic director, Sammy Burnett. How are you, sir?
I'm great, Derek. How are you? I'm on the 25th of this Monday evening.
Hey, I've got this all typed out now, so I know what I'm doing. After the last couple, I'm stumbling, bumbling.
Man, I am doing really, really good.
Well, good.
I'm excited about what's going on this week and excited about kicking it off next week. You know, got to see a lot of people come in the office today getting their season tickets, which always gets me excited. You know, when I sit in my office and do work and listen to them talk to Lisa as they're getting their tickets and the excitement that they have and the excitement the community has. So that always gets my blood flowing. Started meetings with the coaches today. We did our strength and conditioning in the morning with our kids, and then we give them a little break to get cleaned up, take a shower, whatever, and then as in our coaches, and then we start our meetings, and we'll go all the information that I need to give out at the first of the season and what our schedule is, and then we go into defensive coaches are talking to junior high coaches and making sure they're up to snuff on what we need them to do and the scheme and that kind of stuff. And then as they're doing that, the offensive coaches are working on putting their practice schedules and game plans together for that first week, and then we'll flip it up and let the offense teach junior high and the defense will get ready. So we're in full force, and just excited about that. So, season tickets, again, remember they went on sale today from 8 to 12:30 and 1:30 to 4:30. They'll continue that through this week. So if you're a current season ticket holder, you can pick up your tickets at Lisa Household's office, 8 to 12, 1:30 to 4:30. They're $24 for season tickets and $20 for parking passes. And then, of course, on August the 2nd, non-current season ticket holders can purchase their season tickets.
Everybody else. All right, so a week away from preseason practice for football, volleyball. Can you tell a difference in the kids now that they know it's right around the corner?
Yeah, I think, I've talked to a couple of parents, I've talked to some kids. I think they're excited. I think that they know that they've worked hard throughout the course of the spring and the summer. I think they're expecting success. We've always preached to them for the past 4 years, if you don't go do the work, don't expect to win. And this group has really worked extremely hard in the off season, and I think they're expecting to win, and they're excited about what's coming up. And like I said, my only concern is knowing that we don't have a open week until week 11. So I'm still working on trying to make sure we have the perfect plan to make sure those kids stay excited, because we plan on, using that first season, which is pre-district, those first 6 games to make us prepared for the ones that count. And those are those last 4. We expect on doing well then, and then hopefully make a long run in the Region 1 playoffs.
Now, I know practices, y'all have usually held them in the afternoons. Are y'all going to do that again this year?
It varies based on a schedule with administration, with central support, and what they have for our coaches and the needs that they have to the requirements, I guess, that they have to meet, and then also with the high school and what they have to do for the instructional part of that. So I do know that this week we'll practice in the morning. August the 1st, those practices will be in the morning that entire week. And then I think the next week we had to flop it to the afternoon. I think it's good. It's a lot cooler in the morning right now. I think if we can get started in the morning, week 1, and get our kids going and get the blood flowing, and it's a lot cooler. By the time that we step up and start going in the afternoons that following week, that the kids will already be sort of acclimated to getting out there and going through the practice and used to the practice and know what to expect, and then turn up the heat a little bit, and they can prepare for that. And we're going to give them longer breaks, make sure they have more rest time, make it certain segments instead of, hey, get your water, let's go. We're going to make sure they have some recovery time for that heat, as long as it's staying up in the hundreds like it is.
Yeah. Of course, this time of year it's usually when it gets the hottest, but it's been pretty miserable all summer. Yeah. Do you think that's going to help out, that the kids have seen some of this heat already?
I think so. And, kids are kids for the most part. They're going to be out doing stuff. But, I tell people a lot, that my wife especially, she'll go, man, it's hot outside. Well, I'm outside a lot, so I'm used to the heat. I'm used to being outside in it. But when I recognize that it's hot, It's hot, and I mean that because when you're outside a lot, you don't think about the weather anymore. You just know it's going to be warm. But man, when you're sitting out there and you realize how hot it really is, it's 105, 106. That's a lot different than 95 or 91. I mean, I sat around the other night, it was 91 degrees, and I thought it was cool. Mm-hmm. So it's definitely, when you get in those triple digits, it's extremely hot, and for us, we got to be cautious. We love football, but I love those kids more, and their health's more important to me than anything. So we'll make sure we hydrate well and make sure they get things back in their body to help them for the next practice. Make sure they're eating right. If we have to provide things, which we do, whether it's a Gatorade bar or something, a protein bar, to make sure those kids have something in their body so that they're not depleting them of what they need to be healthy, we'll make sure we do.
You mentioned cool nights. Saturday night was pretty cool weather-wise, and with the little event y'all had out at the stadium.
Yeah, it was a pretty neat deal. We had the Lions Mothers Club did a picture for the homecoming program. Andrea Noe was in charge of that, and I thought she did an outstanding job of trying to gather up as many previous state champions as possible to be in the picture that they're going to put on the cover of the homecoming program. That'll be in October against Big Spring. But, there's one face that I didn't see that I wish I'd have seen, but Squirt Thompson is a guy that was a fabulous football player. I didn't see him, and I know he lives in town, but I didn't see him. They did the best they could to get the information out the best that they knew how to everybody as possible. And we tried to use word of mouth, and we used the radio show, but, man, I thought there was a great turnout. And, of course, the 81 class is a class my brother was in and was a part of, and I got to see a bunch of those guys again. And it's not, any surprise that they had more people come to that because they are the youngest group. And then we had a lot from all the other classes, and it was just a great event. There were some people there from the community. The cheerleaders were there, our football teams were there, and get to mingle with them and take a picture with them, and just to talk to them and look at them and see them, and sort of Coach Jones and I, it was neat because we got to talk to them a little bit about some of the people that we have talked about as coaches that had played here. So for me, it was seeing a bunch of my idols. Seeing a bunch of heroes that I grew up watching and wanting to be like. So it was pretty neat for me. I was the little lion there the other night. So that was a neat experience. I wish we could have had more there. The other thing that I noticed when I was looking at that group of men was there's not enough young men in those pictures. And that's sort of our job to try to remedy. So that's our goal, to see if we can't put another class in that state championship ring at some point. So, but man, what a blessing it was to see some of those guys, Mike Kinsey was always a big hero of mine. I saw a bunch of the guys that my brother played with, Ronald Hickman, Mike Davis, Russell Sheffield, Doug Wynn, Jesse Smith, and just guys, Kendall Nelson, and I just looked at them and I'm like, man, it's a miracle that y'all could have won a game with the size that y'all are. Mm-hmm. Those guys are huge. They were something else. And at that time, especially when size wasn't a big deal, they were really big. Yeah. And they were really good. They played Thurman Thomas in 81. They played Fort Bend Willow Ridge in the state championship, and the running back was Thurman Thomas. Mm-hmm. So he didn't get an invitation to this, but we almost sent him one so he could almost be in the picture. He didn't win a state championship.
He could have been on the outside.
Yeah, but it was a neat deal. But I started sitting back and thinking about guys that, I can't remember the years and all that, but Derwin Williams was another guy that I think won a state championship at Brownwood, and I grew up watching when he played in the NFL, and then came to my high school and knew him and his brother Greg and their family when I was younger, and came to the high school one day when I was in high school and talked to the kids and all that. I was one of those kids, and he gave me his autograph, and he put "The Sky's the Limit" on there. I'll never forget it, but always made an impression on me. I was sort of hoping we'd see some of those guys, but I know though everybody's busy, and those guys that showed up I was thankful for, but I was still wanting to see some of those guys that I grew up watching that I thought were so good.
Yeah. You mentioned it's been a while since Brownwood has won a state championship, but Texas football website put out their Region 1 predictions, and not only do they have y'all winning the district, they have y'all winning the region.
Well, got that noose around our neck now, don't we?
Yeah, any thoughts on that, Coach?
Well, our expectations since we have arrived, Coach Jones and mine especially, since we first got back, and he's the first guy I hired. I knew if we wanted to turn it around and try to get to where we felt like we could play for a title, I had to get some people that I knew that had been through it and knew what it meant to work and knew the tradition. And you know, our kids nowadays don't know that tradition because it's, like we just talked about, it's so far away. It's so long ago. But I had to get somebody here that I knew it. So our expectations have always been that. We just had to start building a program to where our kids started believing that, and that we implemented the work that Brownwood has always done to be successful. And we feel we've done that. So it sort of surprised me when you're not ranked in the top 25 and then you're not picked to win your district and they pick us to win the region. But you know what? We're okay with that. We feel we can. There's a lot of things that have to go in place to do that. You know, your kids have to buy into themselves. They have to buy into their teammates and become a family. They have to believe in their coaches and do what they need to do, and have the importance of knowing that when I go to practice, I have to learn. I have to know everything. I got to know my job. I can't lean on someone else to tell me what to do. We got to be mature about it, and it's got to be a business. And if they do that and they spend the time working hard, that 80-90% of the stuff that isn't fun will be rewarding when they get that 10% of fun. And next thing you know, you go through your season. You know, like I said, I want to use our preseason as an opportunity to find ourselves, for our kids to find themselves. Yeah, we may take some lumps. We may not have a very good schedule. Who knows? We may go undefeated. I don't know that. That's going to be up to those kids. But once we find ourselves, hopefully we do it in the scrimmages. If we do that and find ourselves like we did in 19 early, I think we have a chance to have a season that, you know, would equal that kind of season, maybe even better. But it doesn't surprise me when I look at our kids that we got picked to win the region, because I think they can. I think they're good enough to do that. We have talent. We have, I think, the right fits. A couple of move-ins made us even better. So we're excited about the opportunity, that's for sure.
Anything else going on? Anything else you want to mention?
No, you know, just the girls are cross country and tennis and volleyball will pick up August the 1st as well. I know that those girls in cross country have been running. I know that the girls in their strength and conditioning have been working extremely hard. I know Coach Blasek is ready for them to get to go with tennis, and just sort of here it is. You know, we're fixing to kick off those seasons again, so we're going to fix to be in full force with 4 teams at Brownwood High School back in action. So check those schedules out, and you know, if you have nothing to do, you can get out and go watch some of those teams participate in some of their events. So look forward to seeing you at practice. Remember, it's an open door. Anybody wants to come, sit out and watch us practice, you're more than welcome to do that. But it's a great time to be a Brownwood Lion or a Lady Lion. It's a great time to live in Brownwood, Texas, and I'm just excited about the upcoming fall.
All right. Let's see. What do we do now, Coach?
Well, we better thank those that give us the opportunity to do this twice a week. Of course, Auto Glass Magic, Bruner Auto Group, Syntex Body and Paint, Syntex Equipment Sales, Citizens National Bank, Dan Hill Containers, Dr. Bond Young, Dr. Pepper Bottling Company, Edward Jones Investments, Hendrick Medical, Howie Enterprises, Humphrey Peets, Landmark Life, MC Bank, Painter and Johnson Associates, Smith and Sharp Agencies, Sonic Drive-In, Stanley Chrysler, Texas Bank, Weldon Wilson Electric, Western Bank, and Willie's Teas.
All right. Well, that'll wrap up today's Coaches Show then.
You bet. Have a great day, Brownwood.
All right. This has been the Brownwood Lions Coaches Show on KOXE. We will be back Wednesday. Check out the video feed on KOXE.com or the KOXE Facebook pages.